inspiring you to set the marketplace ablaze in partnership with an awesome and limitless God. This is the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur Podcast, and this isn't business as usual. Here's your host and Chief Fire Igniter, Shay Bynes.
Welcome back to the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur Podcast. This is your host, Shay Bynes, and our goal here is to inspire you to operate your business completely yielded and in partnership with our awesome and limitless God. Today's conversation is with Alisa Keeton, founder and CEO of Revelation Wellness. A fitness professional for over 25 years, Alisa feels called to convey the message of wholeness as it pertains to health and well-being of the soul and body. She's equipping people to be fitness teachers and gospel preachers. Now, there are times when God gives you an unusual kingdom assignment, for your business or your organization that you simply haven't seen another blueprint for. And in today's chat with Alisa, we discuss this adventure that she's been on and how she has and continues to partner with God through the wonderful work that she's doing in the world. Now, before we get started, I have to make sure that you know about our Firestarter School course. Firestarter School walks you through key foundations and practical applications that will help you to confidently partner with God at greater levels in your business. It's all about positioning you to experience His best and have a greater kingdom impact in the marketplace. I guess you can say that it's kind of like having me as a mentor in your pocket. And I truly believe that if you are a listener of this podcast and you enjoy what you're hearing and what you're learning, you are going to want to grab Firestarter School. And guess what? It's available at the price of your choice. So head over to our website at kingdomdrivenentrepreneur.com/Firestarter School and get all the details. Now let's get started with today's conversation with Alisa Keeton. Listen in and enjoy. Alisa Keeton, how are you, dear?
Oh, I am thrilled to be here. I love people. I love talking with people. Well, face-to-face would be better, but I'll take Zoom any day.
Yeah, it's better than not being able to see each other. So
I agree. So yes, I'm so thrilled to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So the reason why you're here is because one of the folks, Kristen Kurtz, in our Igniters mentoring program, has spoken so highly of you and what you're doing. And she told me, Shay, you need to talk to her because she totally gets this doing business in partnership with God thing. And you guys will have such an awesome conversation. And I always laugh because I always like it when she hashtags fitness teacher, gospel preacher.
There it is. I know. We're like these oddballs. We're in fitness, misfit land, us fitness teacher, gospel preachers, but there's no better place to be.
Absolutely. I love it. So I just want to explore just this journey of how you even got started. Let's just see what God does in this conversation. Let's as a starting point, have you share what Revelation Wellness is and how in the world you got started doing this.
It is, trust me. I always say that this is a God thing because I never would have chosen this for myself. It's one thing when people go, I'm called into, ministry and oh, okay, I guess I'll do that. But when it's ministry and the body and fitness, I'm like, Lord, no. So the Revelation Wellness, it is our mission, our vision. We use fitness as a tool. Wellness is a tool. It's a big conversation. It's like a $30 billion industry, always growing. Just people want to be well. They want to be well. That's the bottom line. We know as business leaders, as moms, whatever role we have, we really have nothing if we don't feel well, if our health isn't well. So that's a conversation that's going on and we want to enter it. And we just would like Jesus to interrupt the usual programming about fitness. And that's really what we do. So we talk about food, we talk about fitness, we talk about trends and fads and diets and things like that. And we're not afraid of them. We're all, there's good things behind everything, but it's when we make a good thing, a God thing, that we can get in trouble. And I think fitness is one that's easy to do without us even really knowing it, because we can say, this is a healthy habit. This is a good thing I do. And then wonder, why are we not happy? Why are we not satisfied? Why are we, all those things. So it was really birthed out of, for me, that in Acts where it says that he chooses the times and places for people, it's chosen where we are to be. And I was born around the right time so that by the time I was 10, 12 years old, aerobics fad was happening. Jane Fonda, come on, let's have some fun.
With like the leg warmers and
yes, girl,
leg
warmers. We had leotards where you would wear a belt with the leotard. Just, I don't know why. It's as if the leotard was going to fall down. But just in case, I got a belt. Leg warmers, scrunchy socks, all that, jumping around, doing aero jacks. But I took my first class when I was 14 years old. And I didn't know what to expect. I mean, honestly, this wonderful, beautiful Black woman named Jackie went over to the corner of the room. She said, all right, ladies, let's go. And I'm just standing there in my t-shirt and shorts. I don't know what we're doing. I don't even have the proper clothing for it. I'm just there. A friend invites me to this strip mall of a room. And this woman walks over. Her name's Jackie. To this day, I'd love her to death in my mind. And she walked over and she dropped the needle on the record to the Blues Brothers. The needle on the record. I just want to say,
I caught that.
People, an album, and you put the record on, and I don't know. She just took us on a magical tour for the next 40 minutes of jumping, weaving, body. I don't know. We were just going, and I was following her, and I loved every stinking moment of it. I don't know what it was. I just loved it, and I remember when I laid on the ground at the end of that class, I had this thought of whatever that was that just happened. I'm going to do that one day. And
wow.
This wasn't even on my radar. I don't know. I just thought, which is such a weird thing. Like, who knows whatever that was, and I'm going to do that. But I just loved it, and I started going all the time. And at that time of my life, at being 14, I was really, let's just say it, I was 14. Life comes hard at 14, and my family dysfunction, and boys and girls, and high school, and all this, all the adversity of life was really hitting a boiling point for me at 14. And fitness was something that I could kind of have an outlet and feel, active and, I don't know, vibrant in it. So I just fell in love with fitness in the early 80s and went through it my whole life, continued to do some career, do some fitness on the side, go to school, do some fitness on the side. And then eventually I just knew I love this industry. I love helping people feel better. And something happens when we move our bodies. It's hard to do. It's not easy. And so I became a personal trainer. I just started really loving helping people. But I did notice as I was about maybe 5 years or 6 years into training that my clients would tend to fall into two buckets often. They would get really obsessive about their goal and kind of restrictive and not fun anymore. Like I kind of liked them better when they were more, I don't know, just more relaxed. And then they would be so relaxed. They never really rose up, and they would just fall into a cycle of, shame, feeling disappointed, whatever. And then they just I never saw like the freedom that I think I was even longing for, because I wasn't even free in fitness then too. I was still using my body as a way to control things and get some type of, and that was when Jesus enters my broken little heart. I had the body, I had the everything on the outside, what the world would say. But I was really empty on the inside. And I knew, I thought marriage would fix me. Turns out it doesn't fix you. I thought, money might fix it. No, the ache was there and Jesus was calling. So he got my attention. And I would have called myself a Christian, but I didn't really understand it until my own depravity and need was there. And then I just started really loving Jesus and kind of quietly loving Jesus, kind of trying to keep those things separate.
Yes.
Don't mess with my stuff, Jesus.
Yes.
He's so kind to be like, okay, I'll be here. But he gets you thinking a little bit bigger, and you start seeing other people's pain. And so I started now seeing my clients with a kingdom lens.
Yes.
Seeing the poverty of spirit, not so much physical, but the spiritual lack. And then I was ruined. And then I was like, oh gosh, I think there's a bigger thing you want to do. And so I always tell this funny story that one of the early women in my life who kind of mentored me as I was, falling in love with Jesus in my early 20s, and she would take my fitness classes. I love fitness. I love teaching. I love helping. I love people getting those chemicals going and people having, feeling better about themselves in that hour. And she came up to me one day and she said, Alisa, God makes us for a passion for something. And I think your passion is fitness, and it's to glorify him. And I'm like, what are you getting at, Melinda? And she's like, I think, there's this thing, there's this Christian aerobics, and she said those two words, and it was as if my gag reflex came to the surface. Like, that will never happen. I looked at Melinda and I said, Melinda, that is dumb. I will never do that.
Doing aerobics to gospel music or something?
Right, like, no. And then actually, I think I had seen stuff back then. It was, again, the early,
like sweating in the spirit. Remember sweating in the spirit?
Wait, is that Donna Richardson?
Yes.
Listen, to all of them, I say thank you, bless you. And nothing that I saw was like me. I'm like, no. Anyway, so then I just continued to pursue this information. The Lord really started telling me his secrets about the body and about the pain and the poverty and the lack. And so I started writing and taking notes, and I started a program. And then through that, Revelation Wellness was born around 2011. We started. So the Lord gives this vision, and I'm only one person. He says, Alisa, you're going to need to train other people. We want to send other people out. There's a lot of people that need to hear this message. All tribes, all tongues, all nations will need this. I'm thinking, okay. So that's when we started instructor training, discipling, teaching people, getting people, their own freedom inside of them, their own wholeness and shalom. And as they receive it, take it in the whole story of their heart, soul, mind, and strength, then they now have something to go and deliver to. We're like kingdom. We are the kingdom MLM. Like, this is what we do. We don't sell products. I got nothing to sell you.
There's no products though.
No products. No. And we really kind of stay on that. Like, it doesn't mean our instructors can't represent products, because I tell them that's okay if that's something you're passionate about, but it can never overshadow the main thing. And the main thing to us is it starts with Christ for us. And so the at the organization, we just talk the gospel. I mean, it's free. We deliver pizza is what I call it. The gospel is good news. Everyone likes good news. Everyone likes good food. Pizza, it's good food. Go deliver the pizza is what we tell everyone.
Wow. And now you're structured. I went to your website and it said ORG. So you are structured as a registered nonprofit.
Yes, we are. Yeah. In 2011, again, it's such a crazy thing. When the Lord was talking to me a lot about it, he wanted it to be clear that this was going to be ministry. Like, it's not a business. Ministry operates as business many ways. Right. But our end goal, this thing belongs to the people. It belongs to the Lord, which is technically what a nonprofit is. Like, we don't have investors. When I'm not cashing in on this thing, it really belongs to the people. And
Okay, so there's a lot that happened between 2011 and it's 2019.
The Lord was kind to show me the boom of the people who were going to be hungry for it as students. But I didn't get an initial boom of the people that were willing to invest their time, their money to come through training to develop a core, a skill that then they could go out and help others with. And so those were the trying years of like, did I hear him wrong? Look how far my neck is out on the line on this. Is it going to stop? It just felt like blowing a little bit of smoke into or a little bit of wind into a fire. Like, will it go? Will it go? But the Lord used it to just really sanctify my faith.
Yeah. So, how long was that journey between the decision that was like, hey, it's time for me to expand, disciple others, and the very first person that you worked with? What was your space of time?
The very first person that I worked with in terms of gave them the message a little bit to then leading and training others. Oh gosh, I would say probably about 5 years of
wow,
sitting with it and waiting. My first class had 12 people in it, which were mostly my friends. They were mostly people are like, I don't even know if I want to be a teacher, but I want to know. And so they came, and then it was we do about 2 trainings a year. We do 2 trainings a year. And it was 12 people and then 10 people. And then by the 5th or 6th class, Shay, it was down to 6 people. And I'm like, Lord, we're going the wrong direction here. You got to pull the nose up or something. Cause I don't know.
Pull the nose up on this plane.
This thing's going to crash and burn. But he just kept reminding me of the people, the people that were hungry. Just hang on. And he was doing the healing work in me.
Yes.
I needed a lot. I needed to I mean, a lot. And I will own, Shay, that, and I think a lot of kingdom entrepreneurs can do this, where we get a vision and we're excited about it. But in no time at all, we are white knuckling that vision. We are holding it hard. It's our pet, and it takes up more attention, time, and energy than it should have. And I'm guilty of that. Not everyone, but I'm guilty of running from the pain of my marriage, or the pressure of my children, or the places that I don't have as much control, the places that I'm more on the line, more vulnerable with these people. Yes. I would run back to my work. And so God was kind. I've always said this prayer, and I still say it, is, Lord, do not, I pray, Lord, I like that, I ask for the prayers, but then I end it with, Lord, do not give me anything that my character cannot sustain, that my character can't hold. Don't do it, because I know I'll take myself out, and I'll take you down too. And the last thing I want is to give you a bad name. So here's my request.
He's like, daughter, don't even worry about that.
Totally. Yep.
But thank you for lifting that up to me.
Yeah. Thank you for thinking you said something when I gave you the thought, because I've already thought that.
Right. Oh man, I love it. So what does a partnership with God look like for you in all of that work that you're doing? Lots of moving parts. You've got your deep work time. You got your lots of moving parts. You have the discipling of other people into this area of fitness and Jesus, the fitness teacher, gospel preacher stuff, right? What does it look like for you to really do business in partnership, in lockstep with God? What does that look like for you?
Well, the first thing for me is first time in the morning that I spend with the Lord. Once upon a time, I'm guilty of okay, God, what are you going to teach me so I can teach others? What are you going to put in me so I can give it away? Like I felt that was the rhythm. And then it was like the Lord was clear. This has nothing to do with anyone else. If you never did one more thing, Alisa, it's just you and me. And I had to go through that healing work. Again, that was when the ministry was kind of the thing I was trying to make happen to prove value or worth or whatever. And so that I always, the orphan spirit in me has dying off through the years. He kills it. Now I have a great understanding of, he just loves me. I'm a daughter. So that's first and foremost. My kingdom work comes from, I'm a daughter. So I don't even need to work. I'm just a daughter. And so wherever I go today, I bring resources, I bring possibilities, I bring hopes, just because I'm a daughter. That's the last thing is kingdom for me. That's my name. So everything then from there, when I move throughout the day and I'm in a meeting or I'm in whatever it is I'm about to do and write, I literally am thinking, I'm a daughter. Here I am. What do you want to say, Lord? And then I do ask, who do you want me to help? Who am I here to serve today? And I'm very mindful. Otherwise, I'll just start to think about who I think or what I think. I can do a lot of me thinking where I've got to keep my mind on who am I trying to serve? Who do I want to serve? What do I want them to feel and know based on this work that I'm doing right now? So that really has become another thing, Shay, that I've been doing. I'm just side note. I have learned the power of energy begets energy. So I should know this. I'm a fitness teacher. What I was finding, and this resets me back to kingdom mindset, is that I would work out in the morning, whatever. And when I move my body, I really am, it's worship to me. I'm talking with the Lord. He's working out of me the things that don't belong there, the wounds that I feel, the thoughts that I have that aren't true. I'm just talking with him a lot. But I would binge. I would almost do that. And then I'd, again, go about my day and not have these interrupted times. So now for me, at the 50-minute mark, there's a little neuroscience. We know our brains are meant to conserve energy. So no matter how smart you think you are, how much capacity you have, your brain is still going to say, all done, limits. We can learn to stretch it. And one of the best ways to stretch the brain, and again, focus, is to have a break. At the 50-minute mark, the brain at about 50 minutes, the brain, even though you might be in the zone, you're in it, you're actually starting now to deplete. So at 50 minutes, I will I have a timer on my computer. So when it opens, it tells me it's 50 minutes. And I will, at 50 minutes, no matter if I'm in the deepest thought, if I'm having trying to wrestle something out, I will break. I will stop. I'll stand up. And now I put on worship music. I've got a little rebounder trampoline, and I just kind of shake things off a little bit, slow things up, and then I have fun. It really is like, Lord, don't let me get so far away into that I forget you're right here delighting in me. So those are some kingdom moments I've been putting throughout my day. And here's the truth, Shay. I'm telling you, this is for every entrepreneur. You will have more energy. I have more energy in a day than I've ever thought I've had. And the reason this all came about is a friend of mine challenged me. I don't know if you're familiar with Jess Conley, but she challenged me to an iWatch challenge. Like, it's how many movement points you can earn in a day. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. So I had to move a little bit more throughout my day.
Yes.
I found like, oh my gosh, I'm not tired middle of the day. I've created more breaks for myself, and I have more capacity than just grinding it out and trying to make it happen.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. And it's funny because that actually goes to your theme of the year, which is about focus and fun. So you have your very focused amount of time, and then you take your break, and then you make sure you enjoy yourself.
I do. I just go, oh, it's not about me. This is not about me. If I just got stuck on some whatever problem, not about me. I'm ready to refocus. And I do think it's helping my brain. It's keeping my stress levels down. Which it really is kind of just the shaking off of the anxiety, the adversity we carry from us as a child, so that we're rebirthed into this kingdom where we're co-heirs with Christ. We are heirs of God. If he said it, he'll do it. I get to be here today and have a good time with it. So to me, that's when I know, Shay, that I'm off. Hebrews, I think it's Hebrews 4 that says that the kingdom is not a matter of eating or drinking, but of righteousness, peace, and joy. The kingdom is about righteousness, peace, and joy. If those three things are intact for me in a day, I feel right before the Lord, good standing with man, no bitterness or unforgiveness with someone else. I'm in right standing with God. That gives me peace. And I have joy that this is really a fun adventure. This is not an adversity moment. This is an adventure moment. So that's to me is the greatest gift.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. I meant to ask you earlier, structurally, since you are a nonprofit organization, what does that look like? Is that you have funders? Is it you run off of donations, off of grants? Like how does that work for you guys?
Yeah, it's a good question because it is such a strange, like I said, it's fitness. And we do offer services and things. So to know a nonprofit is, again, you operate like a business in some degree, but nothing is like sellable or put on the stock exchange. It belongs to the people. But yeah, we have majority. We used to say at the very beginning, we're like, okay, God. And I say we, it was me and my chief operations officer. Her name is Leah, who was really just the first woman to come and help me because she could work a spreadsheet. You know? And honestly, her payment was, listen, I'll help you out. I see you need some organization. Yes, I do. I'll help you out if you could just afford my cleaning lady once a month. That's my Leah. And I hired her to afford her cleaning lady. Now she's on staff and on payroll. But we said to each other, well, if we could just get our bills paid and we stay above water with instructor training, like people coming through instructor training. And to this day, that has never happened. Instructor training is a big portion of what we do and make in terms of resources. So people, we offer a service, they pay. Yes. But it was actually last year, Shay, that the Lord came to me and said, hey, I've got more for you. And all I need you to do is ask. And I'm thinking, what do you mean ask? And he really was like, I want you to get into your nonprofit vehicle, get into asking for support and help and it really is true. This is a mission we're on, and we break generational chains of physical and spiritual poverty by using fitness as a tool to spread the gospel. It breaks off poverty, physical and spiritual, generational for people that have been, diseased, diabetic, whatever it is for years. We watch them get healthy and whole. He's like, there's people that want to be on mission, so you need to invite them. Start saying that more. So this is last year, 2018 was one of the first years we really started speaking to donors more, because we had people buying or not buying. We had people that are donors for a while, and then we give them RevWell TV, which is like our monthly online workouts, just to stay in connection with them and bless them. And people love our workouts, so I'm grateful for that. But we really started visioning more to them, showing them more of what we're doing and asking a little more often. And the resources have just blown us away. So there's the donors funding, yes. Instructors, challenges. So it all comes from different places. I can't say there's one thing, but I do love that the Lord really opened up gifting. Like people just want to gift and be a part of it because their lives have been changed.
Yeah, I love that. And I hope people are catching that. I mean, this is sometimes God calls us to these really unusual things. Like it's not you can't pick anyone's blueprint and say, hey, they did this. Let me follow this blueprint. Sometimes he just gets us into these spaces where it's like, I haven't seen anything that looks like this. I don't have a grid or a blueprint for this. It can be a hard place to be in it sometimes because you desire to, have something to look at. But the beauty of that is that it's like you get the blueprint from the originator of the thing. Right? Amen. The manufacturer of you and the thing.
Preach.
So it's a beautiful place to be in. And it has its twists and turns and all of those things. But what you're finding, it's like, and you go from just one level of glory to the next level of glory. He reveals one aspect of this and you're off over here. And then he unveils another aspect. And then you're over here. Okay, Lord, you're taking us from one step to the next step. I just want people to be encouraged to know that if it doesn't look like the thing, it's okay to just walk in it. That's what you're doing. It's unusual. And it takes those steps of faith to just be like, I don't quite get it, but I'm going to do it.
But I hear you calling. If you're speaking it, I'll do it. Absolutely. You're right. It's a wonderful and horrible place to be in. I'll own it because my flesh really wants a plan. And map it off of someone else's maybe design or experience, but I would caution everyone from trying to map your design to someone else's blueprint. Especially if you're going to put kingdom on it, like it's
that's
kingdom.
Right. It's got to come from the King.
That's right, and it comes through a promise. Like it's a promise that comes through a process, and your process won't look like my process. We can learn some fundamentals from each other, some good basic principles, but how it's going to play out. Man, and that goes back to don't have fear of man, because people get upset because it doesn't look the way they want it to look like, and they don't get it. Like you're probably onto something if people don't fully get it. But if you got it and you know it and you begin to speak from it and teach from it and talk about it from that place, then people will they'll get to that vision. They'll catch up.
Yes. So I just like to say on this thing that folks like you and I and others who have these unusual things that they look like one thing and they're not that the advantage of that is that you can't even be tempted to look at another blueprint.
It's so true. It's so true.
So you don't even have the temptation. And if you did, you couldn't go find it anyway. So praise God, you can only go to him in the first place. So.
Totally. One of my things I say often to my staff, and we just kind of own it. And when we come against I'm not sure, or it feels like an obstacle, and I just say, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And that's at that moment when I can declare, I don't know, but I know the one who does.
Yes.
So I'll sit here and we'll hang out. We're going to praise. We're going to worship. We're going to believe. At the right moment, we're going to know what to do next. But until then, let's just intercede, pray, and wait. Because if I don't need to know it, I don't need to do it yet. So that's how I work it.
Oh, that's good. All right. So I have really enjoyed this conversation with you. This has been so, so good. So thanks for joining me. How do people get connected with the work that you're doing?
Yeah. So go to the website, revelationwellness.org. I spend a few minutes popping around the different pages. We have a free 7-day detox at the website. And detox is going to surprise you. It's not what you think it is, but it's not. We expect us to do the unexpected. That's what I would say. Revelation Wellness, you're expecting to lose 10 pounds or whatever, but expect something greater, better. And hey, you may lose the 10 pounds too, but something else is going to happen. So go to the website. Another free resource is our podcast. So we have a podcast called the Revelation Wellness Podcast, where you will get an experience. A lot of what we do has to be experienced. So whether you do a YouTube workout with us, watch a teaching online, or just try the podcast and all the different teachings, that would be the best way. I'd love to connect with you.
I love it. Wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
This was so good. I'm so honored.
Thanks for joining us on the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur Podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, we encourage you to subscribe and spread the word. And don't forget, you can gain access to even more resources, plus a thriving community of fire starters by visiting our website at kingdomdrivenentrepreneur.com.